All right, hey, how's it going, everybody? This is the almost completed wood table project. So again, it is live oak, Florida live oak that I cut down from a tree. One tree that already fell, and then one tree that was leaning real bad in Florida, and I milled it with my chainsaw. And you can see after 3 coats of tung oil, really the general color that it's going to be. So super unique look. You can see, I don't know if it'll show up on camera, it's got some reds in there, especially around the knots. And this is really cool spot right there. Definitely, this was 3 slabs from the same log, but they're so unique. And that's really the neatest thing about this wood. These pieces on the side came from I forget, I think this came from the tree that fell when I pulled out my truck. Either that or it came from really large limbs. But this wood down here came from a few of the limbs that were off the tree. And a couple of unique things about this is that you'll see, well, okay, this is a little deceiving. I didn't actually put a screw in there. That was my failed attempt at using, I was gonna just make it easy and use pocket holes. And here's that, but I'll tell you why I left that in a second, but I did I did Japanese scarf joints for the, hold on, where would I, something on my phone there. I got Japanese scarf joints I cut, so you can see kind of the outline here, and a piece of walnut to hold it there, and same thing for the other side, like that. And these are super unique pieces. These came off the limb of a tree, and then the legs I bought. So from a guy who was selling his surplus stock. He was a cabinet maker, I think, and these are just white oak legs. I don't have a lathe, so kind of limited in that sense, but I also didn't have any wood to use for these, so I had enough wood to make the frame of the table, and that's kind of it. But generally, you can see obviously the edge is like it is, and I'm deciding to leave it that way because I really want to maintain truly kind of how kind of authentic rustic look this really is. I mean, you can buy tables from like companies that kind of make an artificial rustic look, but this is really as much as you're going to get that way while still being a nice piece. A couple things I got to do though. Obviously, if you'll see that, unfortunately, it's not exactly sitting on the ends, and that's because of how much the wood warped after I cut it. And you can see it's kind of sitting on this, and it's rested on this, and I'm going to put something here to kind of just bolster it up. But the table overall is very solid. Obviously it's not moving at all. It's super heavy, but this was some of the hardest wood I've ever worked with. If you ever work with Florida live oak, you can see really how thick. I mean, that's about an inch thick right there, and that's really the slabs were at least an inch in some spots. You can see how thick that spot was. But they were so bent and warped because when I took them off the log and milled them, they did what they wanted after I cut them. You know what I mean? So I just kind of had to work with it and make the top as flat as I possibly could. Yeah, so try to move back and show you guys. So that's that, and I use my the Husqvarna 460 Rancher. This thing performed. I mean, this thing was phenomenal. It was on probably for 10 minutes straight for a straight cut each slab. So like 10 minutes continuous running of this trigger down, and it didn't overheat. It did great. And obviously I used it for all the limbs and everything like that. So super nice chainsaw, 60cc, and haven't done too much work to it. The only thing that was broken when I got it was the chain tensioner bolt on the side, but everything else was in really good shape. So kind of going to be putting it away for winter. I won't need it. And this is the bar that I used I just drilled 2 holes in either end, and I use this 2 bolts, and then I put a piece of wood above it, and they gave you a parallel surface to go on the tree to mill. So if you look up like Alaskan chainsaw mill, you can see that. You can see the video I put up of me doing that if you want to, from about I think it was about a year and a half ago. I can't remember. So that's what I did it with, and what I'm finishing it with is this. So it's just like this organic tung oil that's food safe. Obviously this is going to be using as our primary table, so I didn't want to do something that was super just harsh, like chemicals that so I just try to find some organic, some food safe. So I went with that, and it has a really it's really thick, the consistency. So you can see all my rags scattered around because they're drying, so you just have to flatten them out and then let them dry. Before, when I did it, I put them in like the detergent like it suggests, but so there's that. This is the second, or not second, this is another project that you've seen maybe some videos on. Just the lawnmower engine. It's a Collier Command 13, I think. Could be wrong about that, pretty sure. And then this is the lawnmower that you've seen some of the shorts on. And I'm trying to think any other projects that I have kind of lined up. Just trying to get everything kind of prepared for winter mode, get everything organized and back to kind of where it is. And then this is the last kind of thing that I've been working on. So it's just a model of a 2-stroke that I cut in half, and I have a bunch of shorts on this thing. It's pretty neat. You can see where I have it marked: transfers, blow down point, direction of airflow, intake, exhausts, and a lot of other things. And yeah, and then so it's just kind of on the stand, and then flywheel. It's just helpful, right? Like if you're learning 2-strokes, like just to visualize, especially like fluid flow, like what's happening, right here as intake opens, air fills in, what happens when exhaust opens up, and you can see the transfers open. So super helpful, just kind of like just if you have something laying around, just to make it into that. That's going to be just hopefully I'm hoping as I learn more over the years, just to hopefully use this as kind of like just an instructional kind of tool that I can show basic components, but in a 3D model. So I had an engine laying around, so I cut the cylinder in half, so it was right there, and I just cut it in half. It's not very difficult. I just use a Sawzall, and stuff cuts really easily. So there's that. And I don't know if I've showed this either. I picked this vise up not too long ago for like 25 bucks. It's pretty big, and somebody welded it to just like this this metal plate. I think it's like steel plate or something. They just did some really just crazy welds to put this on there. Obviously it's not really the best, but that's what we did, or that's what I found. So I'm trying to think what other projects I have going right now. I think that might be it. The engine is going to be the biggest, and the lawnmower, getting that all up to spec. You can see kind of the parts I have laid out there, and drain the gas, over there drain the oil, things like that. Oh yeah, I'm going to show this. So these were kind of a pretty interesting project here. These are actually off I think a 69 Ford Highboy. So these are West Coast mirrors that I kind of parted or pieced together. So I got a kit, or not a kit, but I got on eBay. Somebody was selling the bracket there, the mirrors, and the mirrors are almost like mint condition. I mean, they're phenomenal. and then I had to buy this separately. And unfortunately, the only color I could find it was in black. So I'm gonna have to probably strip that or something. But for right now, I just left it black because I literally could not find any stainless mounting bracket that for the third, because only select styles of these had them. This is going to come off the I believe the High Boy, but I think also the Camper Special. But there's like a bunch of variations, and finding parts seems to be like next to impossible. But and then I just put these on. These are just store bought, you know, whatever they're called, blind spot mirrors. I had these on my truck, my 4th gen Ram, and it was definitely a time. It was a hilarious project to do, and I really enjoyed it. But I took them off for winter because they're not heated, and I had some stuff I needed to do to the brackets. And also, the mounting brackets are virtually non-existent. Couldn't find them anywhere except off like a rusted out like junk like truck. So I think I really did good with the one I found, but they're also like crazy expensive. And obviously I have 2 for the set, so I'm gonna hang on to these, and hopefully maybe in the future, if I ever do get a High Boy, then I can put those on in its factory spec. But right now I had them on my truck just kind of for fun. Not really too concerned about what I do to my truck. Like I'm realistically probably never getting rid of it, and I own it, so I do whatever I want to it, right? Like, and I can fix whatever. I mean, this is the hole, you can fix it, no problem. So, yeah. But anyway, this is really the big table or big project that I'm going to be finishing up and moving into the house soon, hopefully. Once I get all the last kind of things figured out, and yeah, but this is going to be pretty much the setup right here that I'm going to be working on the engine, I think, during the winter as it gets colder. And I have a lot of content I'm going to be making. I'm really excited about it. Okay, guys, that's all I want to show. And yeah, if anyone has any thoughts or whatever, let me know. All right, take it easy.